November 24th, 1971. A quiet man dressed in a black suit walked into an airport in Portland, Oregon. He wasn't famous, he wasn't rich, and nobody noticed him. He bought a one-way ticket for just $20 under the name Dan Cooper. Within a few hours, he would hijack a passenger airplane, demand a ransom worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and disappear into the darkness. More than 50 years later, the FBI still doesn't know who he was. This is the story of D.B. Cooper, the man who committed the perfect crime. The aircraft was Northwest Orient Flight 305, a routine flight carrying 36 passengers from Portland to Seattle. After takeoff, Cooper calmly handed a note to a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. At first, she thought it was a phone number from a lonely businessman. She slipped it into her purse without reading it. Cooper leaned forward and quietly said, "Miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." Shocked, she opened the note. Inside was a demand for $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. Cooper then opened his briefcase slightly. Inside appeared to be wires, batteries, and red cylinders. The flight attendant immediately informed the cockpit. The hijacking had begun. As the plane circled near Seattle, authorities rushed to gather the money. The FBI photographed every ransom bill. Banks collected the cash. Police prepared for the landing, yet Cooper remained calm. Witnesses later described him as polite and surprisingly relaxed. He even ordered a drink and paid for it. When the plane landed in Seattle, the passengers were released safely. The money and parachutes were delivered. At this point, Cooper had everything he wanted, but he wasn't finished. He ordered the pilots to take off again. His destination, nobody knew. His next move would make history. It was dark. Heavy rain covered the sky. The aircraft headed south. Only Cooper and the flight crew remained on board. At approximately 8 p.m., Cooper instructed the crew to stay in the cockpit. A warning light suddenly appeared. The rear staircase of the aircraft had been lowered. Minutes later, the plane experienced a sudden upward movement, then silence. Somewhere over the forests of the Pacific Northwest, D.B. Cooper jumped from the aircraft carrying $200,000 in cash. No one saw him leave. No one knew where he landed, and no trace of him was found. He had vanished. The FBI launched one of the largest investigations in its history. Thousands of suspects were examined. Hundreds of agents searched forests, rivers, and mountains. Years passed, nothing. Then, in 1980, a young boy made a surprising discovery. While digging along the Columbia River, he found several bundles of decaying cash. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money. It was the first major clue, but it created even more questions. How did the money get there? And where was the rest of it? Did Cooper survive the jump? Some investigators believe he died during the fall. The weather was terrible, the terrain was dangerous, and he jumped at night. Others disagree. They point out that Cooper seemed prepared. He knew exactly what he was doing. Over the decades, dozens of suspects have been proposed. Former soldiers, criminals, pilots, even secret agents. Yet none of them could be proven to be D.B. Cooper. The mystery remained unsolved. In 2016, after more than 4 decades of investigation, the FBI officially suspended the case. The man known as D.B. Cooper was never identified. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to Truth Untold for more mysteries.